your Beautydealsbff here, and today we're going to get into the best blushes of 2020. So, I don't have that many because I don't really like wear blush like that, so this shouldn't take that long. But I got like 2 or 3 that I've been using throughout the year, so I figured I should go ahead and talk about them. And I feel like you should know what a couple of them are, or at least 3 of them are. The other ones might be a little surprised, I don't know. But anyway, let's get started. So I have one blush palette, so let me get that out the way. I have the Alamar Cosmetics Blush Trio in the shade Dark Rich. This is what it looks like. I think this is a really nice palette. I used it a few times this summer when I got it, so I definitely recommend it. I really like the bronzer one as well. Spoiler alert, so it'll be in the best of the bronzers of 2020 video, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, I thought that was a nice blush palette. I thought the colors worked really well for people my skin tone, and they did a great job with it, so I figured I'd throw it in here. The next one I have is the e.l.f. Primer Infused Blush in the color Always Spicy. Now, I feel like this was in there last year, but I keep using it quite a bit, so I figured I should add it on. It's just a gorgeous, like, you know, natural color, so when I don't know what kind of blush to put on, I usually just throw this on just so I can have on some blush when I'm at home. But it's really pretty, and like I said, it's really affordable. I think it's like $6 or something, and it actually lasts all day, so you don't have to worry about your blush disappearing. Like today, I feel like my blush somewhat disappeared, but it's like with that one, it never disappears. It just stays there, and I love that. So the next blushes I have are actually cream blushes. So I got the Cheeks Out Fenty Beauty cream blushes. So I have 3 shades of this. I've only tried 2 though. I know I'll probably like all 3, but I just grabbed the first 2 I saw. I still haven't used the Fuego Flame, but I've used Cool Berry, as you can see, because it's messy. So I used Cool Berry a little bit, and this is the one I like to use when I use the Always Spicy blush. So I'll put on this Rose Latte shade, and then I'll put Always Spicy on top, and it literally lasts like all day. I don't have to worry about my blush like so they're not gonna disappear in any way. Oh crap, I just dropped Cool Berry, but anyway, I'm sure it's fine. Next I have the Monochromatic Blush Duos Matte Plus Shimmer from Cover of X. You can clearly see which one I use the most because it's the dirtiest. So I have the first one I originally bought was Sweet Mulberry. That'll be this one right here. And as y'all can see, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous berry color that look wonderful on some of my skin tone and even darker. Sometimes if I put too much of this on, it looks like I have bruise on my face, but these are quite pigmented, so just keep that in mind. They usually have them on sale during 21 Days of Beauty, so if you're interested in grabbing some, that's probably the best time to grab them because they're 50% off. And they might have them on sale during the holidays, so you might want to look into it then, but I say the best time to grab them is during 21 Days of Beauty. They've had them on sale for the last like 2 years or something like that, I want to say, or the last couple of 21 Day of Beauty sales. The next one I have is Spice Cinnamon, and this is the one with the dirty top, so this is the one I use the most. Again, it kind of reminds me of Always Spicy by what is it, e.l.f., but this one is just, I don't know, it has a little bit of a reddish kind of undertone to it, and it's a little bit lighter than Always Spicy. So when I want something that's a little bit lighter than Always Spicy, I'll usually grab for this one instead. Now, this one doesn't last all day like Always Spicy does, but it's still a nice color, and I got it on sale for 50% off, so I went ahead with that one. The last one I have is Mojave Mauve. Now, I don't reach for this one nearly as often as I do for the other 2, just because I'm not really a light pink blush type of girl, but when I do want that light flush of pink, I'll either reach for this or another one I'm going to show you also. This one is a great addition to my collection and does get used from time to time. I bought this one actually during this 21 Days of Beauty. This Always Spicy one I bought during the last one that was, I believe, in the spring. The last blushes I have, and I feel like these should not be a surprise, are the Patrick Ta blushes. So I have 6 other, sorry, I have all 4 of the cream and powder dual ones, and I have 3 powder ones. So this is the set Do We Know Her, and she's adorable. So I like to mix both of the ones I already own together because this is a more shimmery one. And as you can see, the powder in here is kind of light. So what I'll do is I'll put this duo on, then I'll put the shimmery one on top to get the look I like. And sometimes I just use the cream from this one and put this one on top and maybe add that one on top. It all depends on what kind of mood I'm in, but I usually just go with this one and that one, and then I'll just put this one on top last to make the colors look nice. So then I have She's That Girl, and She's Passionate. So She's That Girl is the lightest pink one they have in this one, and then She's Passionate is light as well. So again, as you can see, I just kind of put them together. So I'll usually do this cream and then this one and then this last, because I feel like this one is darker than this one between the two. So I just mash them on together. Let's take a nice little blush combination there. I don't use that one as often. I usually use She's Adorable or this one the most, which is Oh She's Different and She's Seductive. So I'll show you what those look like. This is probably my favorite combination to do. I'll actually use She's Seductive on top of Oh She's Different. So I'll usually use these two. And then if I feel like I put on too much of this one, I usually just go in with She's Seductive to lighten it up a bit. But as you can see, She's Seductive is my favorite because the P on that one is clearly the most disturbed. So those are my favorite blushes. Since this video is so short, I might go ahead and add in my favorite highlighters as well. So you can stay tuned for that. But okay, so I only got a few more blushes to show you all. So I got another e.l.f. blush. This is one of the shimmer infused blush. Sorry, primer infused shimmer blushes. This is the color Always Lucky. I really like the shade of this blush. I think it's nice. I hate the fact that it's just an overspray though. So after you get done using it, you don't actually have the shimmer on your cheeks. So that's a little bit disappointing, because it's like y'all might as well just came out with other colors of the you know, regular primer infused blushes and not call them shimmer, because the shimmer isn't staying. But whatever. The other one I have is the Milk Cosmetics. What are these called? I don't know. It's made in Italy, and this is, I have the one Buzzkill. I have Raw Honey in my cart, but I'm thinking I'm gonna just wait and buy it off Milk's website when they release the Beauty Juice collection on Black Friday to see if it's on sale on Black Friday. And if it's not, then I'll just have to add it at full price, because it's not like I didn't buy that one at full price, so I can get the review for you also. Kind of doesn't matter. The next blushes I have are, I feel like this shouldn't be a surprise. Everybody was talking about e.l.f. this year. So I have the e.l.f. blushes. I have the shade Pomegranate. Of course, it's the best one for my skin tone. Then my second favorite one, which is Guava. And then the last one, which is Spice Apple, which is one I have to use like now, more in the wintertime, if you will. Like, I'm kind of thinking about putting some of these on right now, just because I'm not necessarily feeling the glow I'm getting from this blush I have on right now. But we'll just leave it the way it is. But I definitely recommend these blushes. They're really nice. These are the two I would most likely recommend for my skin tone though. This one could be like your summer shade, and then this one obviously would be like a year-round shade for you. You can try this one if you want. I mean, they're only $3, so it's not like you'll be losing out on a whole lot if it doesn't work out for you. So that's another reason I just recommend it just fine. And then the thing that I got out of my Trend Mood and Black Owned Brand box, which is the one thing I actually bought the box for, which is the OPV Beauty Born to Shine blush palette. This palette is amazing, y'all. Like, I have reached for this so much. It has all the type of tones I generally like in a blush. Like, I'm not necessarily big on this one, but I'll just mix it in with that one. I love me a good berry tone blush like these two. And then these shimmery ones go nice with the fancy cream blushes. You can just shit these on top today. Like today I have on a different blush that's glowing on top of the Fenty. I have Fuego Flush on. I put on So Retrograde by Kathleen Knights, but I could have easily put Keep Calm on top of it, and it would have been just as nice. So this is a amazing blush palette, and I am definitely excited to have it in my collection. If you're curious what's on my eyes, I have on the new Color Pop palettes. I forgot the name of them. Bordeaux and hold on. It's from the Dark Bloom collection. So I have this one on this eye along with the Blue Moon palette, because the shimmers, well, I'm not going to talk about this because this is going up tonight at 7 o'clock, hopefully. Fingers crossed, because, and I'm praying, because sometimes when I try to upload stuff, it just be very disrespectful. But anyway, let's get into some bronzers now, and then I'll talk to y'all about some bronzers at home, and then I'll give y'all some highlighters. So they were sitting on the bed, so I had to lean myself over that way. Okay, so I have a few blushes, not a whole, I mean bronzers, not a whole lot. I think I only have like 5 or 6 here. Where's the other one? I'm missing one. Hold, please. Should be in this drawer right here. Yes, okay, there it is. It was missing, but now it has been found. So I have the Beauty Bakery Brownie Bar palette. Now, I know this is blush, bronzer, and highlighter, but the bronzer in here is actually really nice. This blush is a gorgeous orange color, and I usually put this blush on, and then I usually take that one from the Born to Shine palette from OPV Beauty, the Keep Calm I just talked about, and put it on top of this to give a nice little, you know, like shimmery blush effect like I have today. I'm really amazed at how shimmery this blush is. Kathleen did that. Okay. But then there's this highlighter in here. This is just a pretty little compact altogether, and I definitely recommend that you try it out. I think they recently had a, did they recently have a sale? No, I don't think so. But the point is you need to get that bronzer palette because it's amazing. It gives you a nice little blush and a highlighter. And they have one for lighter skin tones too. So if you're like medium, if you're like a medium and up, they have one for you. And then this was more for people like me who are dark to deep. You can use this. But the next bronzer I have is the Minted Yacht Life bronzer. Now, the only thing I don't necessarily like about this bronzer is like shimmering. If you all can see, it has like, see, it has those glitter particles in it. It has like green and gold shimmer particles in it. I'm like, and my shade is the only one that does that. The shade Yacht Life. All the other shades don't have that. They just look matte. But the shade I use is the one that has this weird glitter in it. I like this more for the summertime though, just because it's more red based. And I like certain bronzers for things. Like I've used this one now because it doesn't have that red undertone to it. Whereas this one I have to use in the summertime only because of the red undertone that's in it. Oh, y'all, I forgot to bring a cream bronzer over here. So, hold on. I'll get to that one at the end. But yeah, I have this Revolution Glow Splendor Ultra Matte Bronzer in the shade Dark. So, y'all know I originally had the shade Deep because on the pictures online, it didn't look as dark as it actually was. So, I ended up just, I think, putting that in a bronzer bundle that I have on my Mercari page right now if anybody's interested. But I got this shade right here, the shade Dark, after Sandra Renee had got the right shade, and it is just gorgeous. I'm like, yes, honey. Look at that bronzer, and it smells really nice too. Not to mention, it's a great dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. So if you don't want to spend the money on hers, this one, if I remember correctly, it's like 10 bucks. It's in the 8 to like 15 buck range, so it's like much cheaper, and it has a good amount of product in it. It has 0.54 ounces or 15.5 grams. So definitely check this one out. I have a video comparing this one to the Charlotte Tilbury one if anybody's interested. Next, we have the Dust Face Palette by, of course, Mr. Neon MUA and Midas Cosmetics. I love this. This is a very nice palette, and now, please be advised, mine does not have the proper shades in it. The one that they sent me with the proper shades in it, after I told them they sent me the wrong one, I ended up giving away to a subscriber. So, that's why I have two. It's either contours or bronzers. I believe this is contours. Anyway, I have two of those, and then I have one bronzer and the blush. So this is a nice palette. I don't mind having 3 bronzers in it. I mean, it does make me reach for it a little less because with the next face palette I'm about to show you, it has the blush, the bronzer, and the highlighter in it. So I don't have to worry about having to go grab a separate highlighter. But it's not that big a deal because, you know, I have a lot to choose from. And it was just a gold highlighter, and I'm not really big on gold highlighters. If you've been here for a while, you know that. This is a really nice blush as well. So I found me a few little face palettes that have nice little blushes in it, in addition to, you know, having a bronzer, because y'all know this was the year of bronzer, so you're gonna see a lot of bronzers in this video because a lot of actual good bronzers that work with my skin tone came out, and I'm excited and tell the Lord thank you. So the next one I have is the Tammy X Revolution bronzer. I left another bronzer in this drawer, that's why I had to go grab that. And I think the third one I'm missing is over there somewhere. But anyway, this Paradise Glow Tammy X Revolution face palette. I have the shade, which one do I have? I think I have dark, not deep. I'm pretty sure this one is dark because it's the one with the orange blush in it. And then I think the deep one is the one that has a blush that's similar to the shade in the Neon MUA palette I just showed you. But look how great its contour is. This stuff is pigmented. Like, y'all saw what I did the comparison video. Like, the contour I used on this one was way pigmented. And I ended up looking muddy, hot mess. But anyway, I like this palette. You should get your hands on it while you can, because both the face palettes I just talked about are limited edition. So Neon's is limited edition, obviously, and so is Tammy's. But this is, I think, like her 3rd collab with Makeup Revolution. So shout out to Tammy because she out there doing it and killing it, or else they wouldn't keep collabing with her. Like, her and Soph X are the collabs that I like the best. So if I had to recommend a Makeup Revolution collab, I would definitely pick Tammy or Soph X for you to try out. The next one I have is the Sun Club Matte Bronzing Powder Palette. Now, this is a very affordable palette. As you can see, I got a CVS sticker on it. You can find it at CVS for like 10 bucks. So I definitely recommend you try it out, because CVS gives 40% off coupons all the time, and then they're affordable brand as it is. So with that 40% off coupon, it'd be like $6. And then if you have some extra bucks on top of that, honey, you just have all the deals. But obviously I only use the two at the bottom, and I can use both. I usually use this one on top of my cream bronzer, and then I'll use probably this one in the wintertime, because I won't need as deep of a bronze, because, you know, I won't be out in the sun as much, so my melanin won't be as popping. It'll still be popping, it just won't be as popping as it normally is in the summertime. So I use the two at the bottom. I think they're great quality. I think this is a great price. I'm glad to see that Essence is finally coming out with stuff that's more my skin tone friendly, because it's like, I tried a Catrice face palette, and child, that palette was a joke. I was like, who's this bronzer? But we'll get to that one in the worst of 2020 products. The second to last bronzer I have is the Soleil Face and Body Bronzing Balm. This stuff is really nice. When I first saw it, I was like, I don't know if it's going to be dark enough. I don't know how well it's going to work out. This is a beautiful product. And as you can see, I've made a little dent in it, because see the little hole in the middle? Yeah, I have definitely used it. It has a nice little coconutty smell to it. I think it was like $14 if I remember correctly. It took forever for it to get to me, but it was like totally worth it. The last thing I have is the Tower 28 bronzer. I'll put it in the thumbnail of this video, hopefully, so you can see what it looks like. But yeah, I really love that. It's a really nice product. At first, when I tried it, I didn't necessarily like it, but in the summertime it grew on me, because it's like, it's a nice red cream bronzer to put on, and then you can put your red powder bronzer on top of it, and it gives that extra oomph to it, and it helps last on your skin a whole lot longer too, because of doing it that way. So I definitely would recommend that one. But that is pretty much all the bronzers I have here. I will check in with you all when I get home on those bronzers, and we'll double back over to the highlighters, and then we'll have bronzers, blushes, and highlighters done finally. So see you in a few, y'all. So let's get into these bronzers now. We got some more bronzers, a slide of bronzers sitting in front of me. Then we got to end out with these highlighters, and then we'll just smash it all in and have a lovely, lovely, lovely day. So let's start off with, I guess we can start off with cream bronzer, because I only have one, and then we'll move into the rest of the bronzers that I have, because it's quite extensive. But y'all know what's bronzer getting this year. Everybody finally wanted to make bronzers for people my skin tone, and they actually did a decent job, which meant you could have did it before. But let's not have to get on that soapbox. Moving on. So I have the what is this? Cheeks Out Freestyle Cream Bronzer in the shade Chocolate. I really like to use this as cream contour, and then put one of her bronzers on top, which is in here once again this year, because I still like it just as much as I did last year. But this is the color. I do have an honorable mention. The Huda Tantour in the shade Tan is really nice. I really like that one, but you know, I just reached for this one way more than I reached for that one, because a little bit of that one goes a long way, and I feel like it's quite more pigmented, and sometimes I get a little crazy handed with it, so I have a tendency not to reach for it as much as I do the Fenty one, just because it's easier to use, in my personal opinion. Plus, I like the packaging of the Fenty better. I don't like the fact you have to untwist it and do the whole little cap thing or whatever, like it's a baby setting powder or something. I don't want to be out there. Anyway, so I have Cocoa Naughty here, because this is the one I like to use underneath my foundation. So I'll put on my foundation, and not underneath my foundation, on top of my foundation. I'll put on my foundation, and then I'll put on a powder one, and then sometimes I'll go back over the powder one after I put on my setting powders all over my face, just so I have bronzer underneath. That's what I did today. I didn't use this bronzer today. I used a different one, but this is what it looks like on the inside. It is a gorgeous shade. As you can see, the FB is almost completely gone. I can see remnants of it here, but I know on camera you can't see it at all. So that's how much we've been using and loving this one. I got a lot of black on bronzers. Actually, I have two more. So let's just do all the lovely brown black owned businesses. So next I have the Prime Beauty in the shade. The Prime Beauty bronzer in the shade brown. Sorry, the bronzer in the shade Bronzeville. So Auntie Jackie put us on to this. Of course, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous shade of bronzer. It's great quality product as well. I don't know why this keeps opening, because there's nothing in it, but mine doesn't want to stay closed and just behave itself. So I'm just going to hold it like this. But yeah, so this is the color. It is a exceptional bronzer. I don't reach for this as much as I probably should, just because I had to try out a whole bunch of new bronzers this year. But normally, I usually keep the Fenty, this one, and then the Lip Bar Fresh Glow Bronzer and Blush Duo and Just Got Paid. The bronzer is called Direct Deposit, and the blush is called Shopping Spree. So let me show you that one. This is more of a truly shimmery bronzer though, because look at that, child. You're going to be shimmering to the high heavens. And then underneath there is the blush, which is the gorgeous blush shade. It reminds me of the shade Adults Only from Nabla. Like, if you like that shade, you would most likely like this shade, because that's what this gives me the vibes of. This is a great product, like, if you need a blush and a bronzer. I'm gonna go real quick, because sometimes I don't know which blush to pick with the bronzer, so I like the fact that there's a blush underneath there, and you just pick the bronzer on top to go with it, and it goes perfectly with your skin tone, and it is just amazing. So now, I have got all the black-owned bronzers out the way. We got some black-owned highlighters, too, so just stay tuned for that. But, next, I'm gonna get into some... I'm gonna get into the Nabla Skin Bronzing Sun-Kissed Effect Bronzing Powder in the shade Profile. This is the darkest one they make, and at first I was scared that it wasn't gonna work on me, but once I put it on, honey, this bronzer looks amazing. As you can see, the name is starting to come off that too in the middle, because I've been using this up. I really like this bronzer. When I have like natural glow from within looking skin like this, I usually like to put this bronzer on, but I put on something different today because I've been using some of these quite a bit, and I'm like, I need to use other stuff in my collection. I just keep using all that stuff, but this is a gorgeous bronzer. I know some people said they don't like the fact that they try to use the same formula on all three things, but I actually like the formula on all three things. So I like the formula when they try to make them as blushes. I like the formula when they use them as bronzers, and I like the formula when they use them as highlighters. So I think it's a great formula for all three products in my personal opinion, but you know, to each his own. That bronzer is amazing, and I definitely recommend you try it out. I wish they sold it at Sephora, but as far as I know, I mean, not Sephora at Ulta, but as far as I know, they don't have it at Ulta. They just have the highlighters and the blush toppers. Anyway, the next thing I have is the Revolution Pro Sculpting Bronzer with cocoa extract in the shade in Robe. This stuff is so pretty. Like, if you like a red tone bronzer and you don't want to spend a lot of money, I would definitely recommend you get this. This reminds me of the NARS one that they came out with this summer. It was sparkly and it was really red tone. It was the darkest one they had. It wasn't the matte one. It was the shimmery one though. This one isn't shimmery. It's matte, but it reminds me of that NARS one, just like the coloring of it. Not the formula, just the coloring. But this is a great product, and I think this is only like $8 at Ulta, so definitely get your hands on it. I like the Revolution Pro line a lot, and when it comes to Revolution, I like the XX Revolution line. I think they come up with great products, and they do a wonderful job, and definitely recommend that you try them out. But yeah, this right here is another banger. So bronzers just coming out the wazoo. So next one we're gonna talk about is the Kosas, what is it? The Sun Show Moisturizing Baked Bronzer, and of course I had the shade Deep because I think they only have 3 shades. They have light, medium, and deep. Don't quote me, because I feel like those are only 3 shades they have, but I love the packaging on this. Like, I don't know, I just love the seafoam green coloring on it. And then this is another red tone one. So if you like red tone bronzers, I personally only like them for the summertime, so I won't be reaching for this again to like spring and summer. But this is a gorgeous bronze that I reached for a lot during spring and summer. The concealer from this brand is really nice as well, so I'm looking forward to see what else they come out with. I haven't tried their blushes, but I heard Karen Harris raving about them, so I might end up trying them. If they have a good sale on Black Friday, I might, you know, mess around and try them out. I don't know, we'll see, because I'm not really that big on blush, but I've been trying to get into blush more since I own a few blushes, and I feel like I should actually use them instead of them just sitting in a drawer somewhere. So the next one I have is the Vesca Sun Kissed by Bali Soft Matte Bronzing Powder. Now this one is a little bit dark, so I definitely use it more as a contour type thing, because look how dark that is compared to the other ones I showed you. I bought this one because this is the color Jackie said we use, but I think we actually need to use one shade before this one. I just bought this one because this is one she said, but it's a little deep. I still like the formula of it though, so that's why I put it in here. This is what I would put underneath my put on top of my foundation while I'm letting my concealer set, and then I put my setting powder on top of the bronzer, and then it looks like I have a contoured look, and then I'd go over it with the bronzer. That's the only way I most likely use this product. I wouldn't just use it as a bronzer itself, because it's a little bit too dark for my liking, but it's still a wonderful product, which is why I got to be mentioned in this video. And as you can see, I have been reaching for it because it's kind of dirty, but I think that's because of the packaging, because I haven't used it a whole lot, but when I do use it, I use it in the manner I just told you, because that's the way I feel like it works best for me. Now let's get into a couple of bronzing palettes before we get into these bougie ass expensive bronzers that I don't really want to talk about because they super high and people gonna be feeling some type of way. So this one is more of an honorable mention just because I didn't use it that much, but I know it's a decent product, and I want to shout out to the brands because they finally came out with one. But with this brand, I feel like they always wait to the last minute to come out with stuff for people my skin tone. It's like they'll come out with everybody else's shade. They'll come out with like one shade maybe for brown people if they come out with one at all, and then they have to backtrack and make one for us later on in the game, like after they collected money from everybody else. But it's like, what makes you think I want it now? Because I wasn't a priority like everybody else was, so I'm just supposed to want it after fact? Like, I think not. The only reason I bought this was to review and see for myself it was going to be as good as everyone was claiming to be. And of course, this is the Jouer deep to dark bronzing duo. Now, remember when this first came out, like whenever it came out, like all the beauty gurus, all the Caucasian beauty gurus was talking about it. And of course, they didn't make one for my skin tone. So I literally only bought it to see if it was as good as everyone claimed, but it wasn't like I was in a rush to get it. I know it came out and I didn't get it like right away. I waited till Beauty Bay put it on sale, and then I went and bought it. And then because of the pandemic, it took forever to get to me, and y'all didn't really care afterwards. I figured y'all didn't care before though, just because Jouer isn't a brand that people really talk about, and not to mention, you know, like they don't really cater to people that look like me as a general rule. Because like with the foundations they first came out with, I had to mix two together in order to make them work, and they still didn't look right. And then they came out with shades for me after the fact, as usual. With this brand, I always feel like they come out with stuff for people that look like me after the fact. And if they do, they come out with like the bare minimum for us, but they come out with 40 shades for everybody else. So it's like, that's why I don't really rock with them like that. But that's why this is just an honorable mention, because the formula of it is nice, but it's like, I don't want to necessarily recommend that you go out and get this just because it's like, they don't really care about you, sis. Because if they did, they came out with your shade when they came out with anybody else's shade. So, how about that? Anyway, the next one I have is a brand that came out with shades for everyone the first go round. And that's probably because, you know, they know what it's like to be excluded. This is Alamar Cosmetics. And this is the Brighten and Bronze Complexion Trio in Dark Rich. So I really love this. I like to use this one underneath to start off with. Like I told y'all, I'll do bronzer while I'm letting my concealer set underneath my eyes, and then I'll set setting powder on top of it, and then I'll go in with the actual bronzer shade, so it looks like I did a cream contour when I really didn't, just because, you know, if you're not comfortable with cream contour, you can always do the step that I just talked about. Put this on while your foundation is still wet and you're letting your concealer dry. If you let your concealer set underneath your eyes for a little while like I do, and then once you put your setting powder on top of it, it looks like you just did like a cream contour situation. And then you can put this bronzer on top, and it'll look like you contoured and bronzed, when really you just use the darker shade in the palette to look like a contour, and then you can bronze with this. Now in the summertime, I personally just use this one, and then I might go in with this one sometimes, but in the summertime I have a tendency to reach for this one more, and then in the wintertime I'll do like this one to make it look like a contour, and then put this shade on top. And then this is just a great under eye powder. Like, it looks amazing when you do it underneath the eye. So it's like, if you can't necessarily afford to buy the Charlotte Tilbury or the Pat McGrath one, you can have this cute little palette where you put your bronzers on, and you can put this underneath the eye to brighten up the eye and make it look quite beautiful and nice. That's a little extra step. And you can find this at Target, so it's definitely a more easy, accessible product. I really like Alamar Cosmetics little palettes. Whenever they come out with a palette, my little thirsty butt is always running to go get it. Like, I got the blush palette when it came out, and it was phenomenal. I have this little face palette right here. So I'm interested to see what else they're going to do next year, because I'm definitely here for it. Now, I have not tried any of their lip products. I'm intrigued, though. I want to get Coquette. I believe that's the name of the lip gloss I wanted to get. And I think they have a matching lip liner. So I definitely want to get my hands on those. But I'm going to slide myself in a Target one day and see if they have it. I think it depends on the demographics of your area, what brands they have at what stores. Like, I've noticed when I go to the Indiana stores, I don't see the Minted Cosmetics and I don't see the lip bar. But like, I feel like if I was in a certain area that was closer to my house, I might see those brands, whereas opposed to, because it's in Indiana and that's the red state, I don't plan on seeing like any of the stuff that, you know, would work for me out there. And, you know, that's fine. You can always order from Target.com. And then if a store has it close by, you just go pick it up. So it's cool. The next one I have is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer in the shade 4 Deep. Now, I believe this is the darkest shade of this bronzer. So I think there's fair, light, or is there light, medium, tan, and deep? I believe that's how it goes, because I believe Karen Harris has tan. Do not quote me though, but this is what the bronzer looks like on the inside. I don't know where these watermark-ish type things came from on mine. I have absolutely no idea, but this is what the bronzer looks like. Again, I tell y'all once, I tell y'all many times, if you're my skin tone, do not buy this bronzer from Sephora. Take yourself to Net-a-Porter. Net-a-Porter has a whole bunch of Charlotte Tilbury stuff, and it's always cheaper than it is at Sephora. So it'll be like getting your Sephora discount and just buying it at a normal price. This bronzer on there is $37. Now, if you bought this as a Sephora sale, I'm sorry for you, sis, but I've said in past videos, whenever I like reviews or talk about Charlotte Tilbury things, to go buy it at Net-a-Porter, because this bronzer on Net-a-Porter is $37. Why are you paying Sephora $55 for a $37 bronzer? I'll wait. And even if you're not my skin tone, like, there's still like $38 or $39 as opposed to you paying $55 to Sephora. So just take yourself to Net-a-Porter and buy all your Charlotte Tilbury stuff. If you don't have to make videos and you can wait, go to Net-a-Porter and buy it there. Because when it gets there, it's going to be cheaper. And they used to do like free shipping. Now they don't do it now because of the pandemic. You have to buy a certain amount or whatever. But before, when I was buying it, it was just like free shipping, period. Anyway, the last bronzer I have is the Gucci, what is this? The Gucci bronzing powder in the shade 5 Of course, I have the darker shade because, you know, it's Gucci. Yeah, but this is what it looks like on the inside. This is a really red tone bronzer, so I don't tend to reach for this a lot. I mean, in the wintertime. In the summertime, I used it a couple of times, but I was so in love with the Kosas bronzer that I was using that a little bit more than I was using this. But it's a good bronzer. It's nice or whatever. I don't think it's worth the price, personally, in my opinion. Like, I would say get the Charlotte Tilbury one, because you're going to get way more product in that one than you're going to get in this one. And that one is going to be way cheaper, and it's still a luxury item. So, if you can get this on sale, then I say get it. But I wouldn't say buy it at a regular price. Absolutely not. Do not do it. It's not worth it at a regular price, in my personal opinion. Especially if you don't live in somewhere like California, somewhere where it's going to be warm a long period of time, so you can get that red bronzer. If you don't mind a red bronzer in the fall and winter time, then that's fine. But otherwise, I just say it's not worth the price when you can get so much more in the Charlotte Tilbury. And, you know, the formula is, in my opinion, better than the Gucci one. I only bought the Gucci one because, again, Karen Harris was brave about how wonderful it was, and I got it, I think I had it on a discount or something like that. I forgot how I ended up with it. But the point is, I ended up with it to review for you all. So the last thing I have is highlighters. So I have a lot of holiday highlighters. So I guess we can get the holiday ones out of the way now. This is an honorable mention, mind you, because I don't necessarily like the formula on this. And y'all know the bad experience I had having to go through getting this. And I still haven't got my refund from Charlotte Tilbury after mailing this back after the product did not work out for me. So, at least this one isn't cracked. Like, the one I ordered from her is cracked. I ordered one during the Sephora sale, since I saw this didn't show up on Net-a-Porter, because I just told y'all about Net-a-Porter, but it wasn't up there. They only had the eyeshadow palette, so I had to order it from Sephora during the sale. But this is what it looks like on the inside. I feel like this is just not, it's a little too subtle for me, and then it looks a little icy to me, in my personal opinion. I mean, it warms into your skin throughout the day, but it's like when I first put on my makeup, I wanted to at least look halfway decent. Like, I have on her highlighter from last year on my face right now, and I actually really like that one way better than I like this one, so that's why this one is an honorable mention. Like, if you're my skin tone, I don't necessarily recommend you buy it, and if you are gonna buy it, don't buy it at a regular price, because I feel like you're gonna have to mix in with other highlighters in order to make it look nice on your skin. Now, if you're of a lighter skin complexion on the melanin side, like if you're black but you're a lighter skinned black person, I feel like it'll work better for you, but I just don't feel like it works good on me. But I figured I should still mention it because the formula of it is really nice. If you like a subtle highlighter, it's not my cup of tea. The next one I have is actually the Omega Glaze Glitty Highlighter. Now, I have the old packaging because remember I told y'all a while ago in the video, don't buy the newer packaging because they were overcharging, and they had this one for $22 on Sephora a while ago on the clearance rack, and then they had the extra 20% off sale going on. So I was like, definitely snag this one up if you can, because it was the same one that they just added the cherry to, and you just getting a different packaging, but it was like gonna end up being like 15-20 bucks. This highlighter is amazing. I love the color of this highlighter. I love this highlighter in general. I'm sad that Maybelline took the dupe away that they had for this, because they had a dupe of this with the Puma collection and Knockout. It was the exact same highlighter, the exact same color. It was only 10 bucks. So I have both of them, and I did a video comparing it like a while ago. But you can get this one now on sale for 34 bucks. So, I mean, like, if you want to get it, I definitely recommend it at that price. I wouldn't say it's not bad to get it $50, though, because that's how much it was. I think it was $49.50, the same as the eyeshadow palette. But I definitely recommend that you get this. This is a wonderful, gorgeous highlighter. It's one of my favorite ones to use. Like, in the summertime, I like to use this. It's similar to the shade Bali by 042. So if you don't want to spend the $34 on it because you know you won't go through this highlighter, or you don't like this color enough to buy it at that price, go ahead and get Bali from 04. It's the exact same color for the most part, and the 04 highlighter is definitely going to give you more glimmer and pop. Not that you can't build that one up, but on initial application, I don't feel like that one builds as glittery. But I mean, I guess we could have swatched it in the scenes. But the last holiday highlighters I have, of course, are the Dior Backstage Glow Face Palettes. Now, I'm mainly talking about these two. I brought this one as an honorable mention because I feel like it'd be a cute little blush topper. And a couple of the highlighter shades do work for here, okay for me. Like this one is popping out right here. That's one I like to use as a highlighter on my face. The other ones I don't really like to use. I like to use this one as a blush topper. So this is my least favorite of the quads. That's why it's an honorable mention. But I did want to mention it because the quality of these is really nice. It's just that color set doesn't work for me. These are the two that I like to use the most. And of course, the one I like to use the absolute most is the copper gold. These colors are just gorgeous on my skin tone. I like to use this one as a bronzer topper. When I want a glowy bronzer, I'll go ahead and put this on top. This is my favorite one to use as a highlighter, and I like to mix it in with that one. And then sometimes I'll mix it in with this one, or sometimes I just form my brush on all three of these and use them, and just use this as a bronzer topper. If you all saw my video for these highlighter palettes, and you know I really like this one the best. And then my second favorite one is the Pure Gold set. I love highlighter shades like this one. I am going to use a gold highlighter. That's why I was so obsessed with Trophy Wife when it first came out. Unfortunately, it had quite a bit of glitter, which kind of turned me off to it. I'd use it more as a body highlighter now, not necessarily for my face. But as you can see, Dior things are popping out everywhere. Like every one I ordered, like one is popping out of, which is crazy to me, because when I first ordered these before the pandemic, when they had the other two come out, none of the shades are popping out. So I'm like, what's going on with the new ones that they're popping out of the palette when you get them? Because I ordered the second one from Sephora, nothing popped out. I don't know what's going on with this, but Dior, y'all need to fix that, because these was $50 a pop. Shouldn't be popping out, okay? It shouldn't be popping out unless I pried it out for $50 a pop. Because that means there's $150 for highlights in here, and every one there's a pan popping out. No, Dior, please go get your life. But like I was saying, so I like to use this highlighter a lot. Sometimes I mix this one with this one if I don't want as bright of a gold. And then these two I most likely use for inner corners, or sometimes with this one I'll literally roll my brush across all four of them because of the tones of gold that they picked in here. I really like the tones that they picked in each one of the palettes, because I feel like they are perfect for skin tones. So I'm like, I don't know if makeup artists help them pick these, but like these are definitely winner chicken dinner, and I will be using them a lot. And I usually don't reach for my Dior quads as much, but the first two they came out with wasn't really doing it for people my skin tone not to be me. Like the two brown shades they had in there were supposed to be bronzes. I'm like, bronze who? Bronze where? Bronze what? They were like more highlighters on me, so I would use those as highlighters. And then they had like a peach one that was supposed to be a blush, and I'm like, I'd use that as a highlighter too, because I'm like, it's not blushing me. So I'm glad they finally came out with something that would like cater to everyone, just as opposed to catering to like the general market. But I guess they got enough money out the first two where they could make colors for everyone, as opposed to just making them for certain people. Moving on. So I got my black owned brands over here, and then we're gonna end it off with the indie brands, even though I normally do it the other way around, but I felt like doing something different, so that's what we're doing. So we're gonna talk about the JD Glow My Type pressed highlighter. This is a black owned brand made in New Orleans. This is what the highlighter looks like. I heard Jackie Aina actually talking about this highlighter and talking about how much she liked the color of it, and it actually reminds me of the Milk makeup highlighter. So this seems to be like the same kind of formula as those, and these are cheaper. I think this one was like $17.50, and I think the milk aren't the milk ones like in the 20s or possibly $30. So if you want a new black owned brand to try from, and you've already tried their highlighters and you want to try something, I mean their eyeshadows, and you want to try something else, you can try their highlighters. I love their eyeshadow multi-chromes. The only thing is I got a bad one, and like I guess they didn't evenly put the product in the pan, or they didn't put enough to charged at the weight they were charging, so it might end up crumbling up and falling out. So as long as you don't get a situation like that, I feel like the brand is definitely want to look into. And I just heard Karen Harris talking about how they have 50% off their eyeshadows, and that's when she usually buys a lot. So I'm gonna look into buying some, because I heard her friend Amy Loves Makeup talking about some shades that looked really nice that were multi-chromes that I like, or just really metallic shimmery shades. So I was like, I'm gonna look into those. So we'll see about that. But I definitely want to try some Divina Cosmetics. I want to try some I need to get some more in the Menagerie palettes and try them again. And since my makeup taste has changed, I'm feeling like I might like them a little better. And then I need to, it's one other brand I want to get. I'm trying to remember the name. I know I'm getting Bristol Beauty brushes, but, you know, that's another thing. But anyway, let's get into some more highlighters. So this is the Diamond Ball Congo Candy by, what do you call it? Fenty. This is what it looks like on the inside. This is a gorgeous topper shade. So what I could do was, if the Dior ones weren't so glittery, I would usually top this on top, because this is just more like a glittery balm. But since they are so glittery, what I would do is top this on top of a highlighter that gives a subtle glow. So remember I talked about the Charlotte Tilbury. If it was more of like closer to my skin tone like this is, I would put this on top of it, and that would be a good old highlighter. So this is a gorgeous highlighter, and I definitely recommend you try it out. But the next one I have is from Uma Beauty in the shade Barbados. This highlighter is just amazing. This is from their like summer collection, their carnival collection. Oh my god, y'all, this smells like the butter bronzer, and oh my god, the pigmentation on this is insane. Now, I didn't plan on swatching anything, but honey, matter of fact, I'll swatch the JD Glow ones too, because these highlighters are giving you it. Like if you're like me and you like, yes please, like look at this liquid gold. Look at it. Look at the liquid gold. Look at that. I built it up with two, and it's liquid gold. And the next one I have is this one right here. Like, look at those. Look at it. Look at the liquid glow. Like, look at on my fingers. It just looks, this is the Uma Beauty one, and then this is the JD Glow one. And this is only $17.50, and look how that's glowing. And I didn't even rub my fingernail that much. It's just that buttery smooth. And so is this one. And this one is actually on sale on Ulta for 40% off right now. Y'all not going to see this video. And this time, so I don't know why I said that. I'll be doing that all the time. And then I'll be like, oh my God, that's so rude. I need to stop. But they might have a good Black Friday deal where you can pick this up at, or just some sales in December where this will go for. So this is a great highlighter. I definitely think you should get your hands on it. So those are my 3 black on brand highlighters right there. So we're gonna end it out with the indie, and that is the what are these? Kaleidos Space Age highlighters. I have Solar, Sailor, and Ray. What is it? Ray Rider. I know the reformulated Ray Rider. Or not reformulated, change the color of it, or reformulated, something like that. I use this one more than I use this one because, as you can see, there's a little dent in this one. I know the reflective cover is over. There's a little dent in this one because I like this one a little bit more than this one. But I like to mix these together. And sometimes I'll mix these with Lucid Jungle from Nabla. And they just both give a beautiful glow with either one of these on top of it. But I prefer to do this one, which is why this is the one I like better. But these are all the highlighters, blushes, and bronzers that I have picked for 2020 that I was loving. I like the Form Love. I use from time to time because y'all know I got an extensive collection and I had to test stuff in between, but I still managed to use all these just because I really like them. So those are my picks for 2020. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, y'all are dimes. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye.